Welcome to the Eden Podcast. I'm Bruce C.E. Fleming, Executive Director of the True 316 Foundation. Our website is true316.com. That's TRU316.com. We're looking at the booklet called The Four Eden Insights, and we're beginning with Eden Insight number one. Are there more than four Eden Insights? Sure, of course there are. But we tried to sum them up and make them available through this little series called The Four Eden Insights. To go deeper, we encourage you to get a hold of the copy of The Book of Eden on Genesis 2 to 3. The Book of Eden is available on Audible as an audiobook, as a Kindle ebook, and as a paperback from Amazon. The Book of Eden, Genesis chapters 2 to 3, by me, Bruce C.E. Fleming. And on Audible, the reader sounds an awful lot like me, too. So let's get going with Eden Insight number one. Did you know the Bible chapters on the Garden of Eden, Genesis 2 to 3, are written out in a bell-shaped pattern called a chiasm? The high point of this pattern is found in the center. On either side are parallel sections. Section A starts with coming in to the garden, and section A prime ends with going out of the garden. And then we have a little diagram that we've used throughout the years. My wife, Dr. Joy Fleming, developed this for her doctoral dissertation at the University of Strasbourg, and it shows the unity of the passage, beginning with the entry into the Garden of Eden all the way to the exit from the Garden of Eden in Genesis 2 to 3. So if you take a look at the diagram as we have it on the video here, on the audio you get to listen. The A section begins to go with an upward climb, and then B section gets higher, and C section gets higher, and we get up all the way to the top in the center, which is section D. Then we start to come down with section C prime, then B prime, then A prime. Early on, Joy labeled these two halves, God at work on the way up, and sin at work as we go on the way down and out. So the center of the chiasm is Genesis chapter 2, verse 25, where it talks about their being naked and unashamed. There are other patterns in this passage, by the way. Why is this important? Because in the Hebrew passage like this, word patterns convey meaning just as the meanings of the actual words themselves do. So you can do a lot with word definitions, looking them up in a concordance and studying the root patterns, the original ancient Hebrew, Greek, or in this case, Hebrew. So the Greek or the Hebrew, whatever, you can find a lot from the study of the individual words, but you can find out a lot as well from the study of the patterns, because the poetic patterns also convey meaning. In Genesis 2, we see that there were two positive relationships: the horizontal relationship between the two first human beings, and the vertical relationship between the two humans and God. The man and the woman had a wonderful relationship with one another. We learn about that in section C in the chiasm, or the rainbow pattern, where it talks about how God created the man and then God created the woman. Each one, when they were created, opened their eyes. Each one first saw God. Each one had a personal relationship with God. And then when these two, we could call them today, modern terms, these two believers got married, they were introduced by God himself. And when they got married, there were three more steps. So the first step is each one knows God, and God introduces the couple. And then the second step is the old-fashioned King James words were to leave, to cleave, and to unite. Leave, cleave, and unite. And so all of those parts are more in-depth insights on what's happening in Genesis chapter 2. So the man and the woman had a wonderful relationship with one another, and according to Genesis 2:25, they were naked and unashamed. Is this important? Well, I think so, because of so many variations that you hear about what's happening in Genesis 2 and 3. People often take a word out of context, and we have to first of all understand what the context is. So this is the context, the bell-shaped curve starting at Genesis 2:5 and going all the way up to Genesis 3:24. If you'd like to go know more, we offer the Eden Workshop on Genesis 2 to 3. You can find out, sign up, and join us one of the next sessions that's coming up. That's tru316.com/workshop.